Is it possible to make something worth hundreds or even thousands of zlotys out of things thrown in the trash? Yes, it is.
What others saw as trash inspired us to create a unique, high-end piece of furniture that looks catalog-worthy. This time we're using a material almost everyone has seen, whether during renovations or receiving a large package. Archie will notice, and today we'll show you how to turn yard construction pallets into garden furniture that would otherwise be expensive in stores. Let's get started!
And look what we have here. Euro pallets, as some people discard them while others sell them for a few dozen zlotys. I decided to make use of them, so I'm loading everything onto the van and we're heading to the base. Let me tell you, it's not the lightest thing because according to the specs it should weigh about 25 kilograms. Euro pallets are notable for their standardized dimensions. So if later on, for example, we want to buy a mattress for it, we'll have no problem finding one on online platforms. Here comes the pallet specialist. Oh, but you usually get standard ones, right?
Pallets are good not only, but they're best for building furniture. But trying to recover boards from them is too expensive.
These visits feel non-stop. Another Euro pallet just arrived. Euro and pallet.
Considering that they were supposed to gather dust, that they were supposed to be returned, which we wouldn't have returned. You're making terrace furniture, right?
Yeah, that's right. People are...
They buy it because it has its own vibe. As long as there are no splinters, keep it rustic. Leave it. Maybe you'll even scrape off those stamps. The point is for them to stay. There was...
Such a plan. Listen, enough of this talking. We've talked with the guys. It's time to get to work. What did I do? I laid out all the pallets, and now I'll just use the ones in the best condition for the tops of the furniture, so everything looks nice and there will be less work to do. So what? No point in dragging it out. You'll see it in fast forward, and I'll just get to sanding. My dear friends, there was quite a bit of sanding involved here, although it really depends on what condition you want to bring these pallets to. We're moving to the next stage now. We need to protect these pallets because the furniture I'm going to build from them will be kept outside. And for that, I decided to use a quick drying varnish stain, which is also waterproof and will allow the structure we make to last us for years. Meanwhile, I invite you to a simple color experiment. It's unrelated to anything else. To chemistry, so don't worry. I removed some of these varnish stains. I have rosewood, light oak, Scandinavian pine, dark oak, walnut, anthracite, and mahogany. There are a few other colors, but we won't go too crazy with it. Let's start with Scandinavian pine. And of course, as always, the key is to thoroughly mixing. First, always ensure the surface is clean, dry, and free of grease before applying anything. These are the basics of application. Applying wood stain. Of course, we apply it along the grain. That way, you'll get the best result. Dark oak. Listen, here we apply the first layer thinly because there will be a second and a third one. Light oak. And listen, now I'll wait until everything dries. When it dries, I'll sand it lightly, just a gentle sanding, and then I'll apply a second coat so that this test is reliable, so we know what color will paint our furniture. Do you see the color here? And here? Yes, they're smiling nude. Is there a difference? There is, because this is color in mass. I think that's the term. That's what I came up with. This is the color in the can. It looks very different, especially on wood. And listen, a sample like this, if you hang it up in your workshop and then take something and compare it, you can see whether anthracite suits you better, or maybe, for example, what's here, mahogany. There are also a few other colors, so you could do it here easily. I already know that I won't be using black or white, so I'm not doing those here, but I wanted to show you these out of curiosity as well. Old man.
This is a rainbow, but in your wooden rendition. That's how it should look.
A rainbow carpenter. And now tell me, Marcin, for garden furniture.
Jesus, I see both modern and classic styles.
Exactly, I already told you happiness.
I told you, are they thinking about pillows?
Anthracite. Something black.
Dark gray you want?
Dark gray, no.
Then I would reject this one. Because it will blend in. I don't like these kinds of oranges, but I don't know about on gray because it's close to the palette. Yes.
A small change. Even the text turned out well. Well, although it adds a slightly different vibe.
Dark oak is so expensive, man.
But I'm not sure if it'll be too dark.
Pine is left. Also,
I think so too. I don't want it to be any different. Dear ones, so as not to bore you, the work process is the same as with the sample, meaning a clean dry surface and first a thin layer at the very beginning. Once it dries, we sand it with fine sandpaper and repeat the process. Well, I'll tell you, I'm already working on the third pallet and here are my impressions. I'll tell you, it's easy to apply and man, it has a very mild scent, almost unnoticeable. So far it's really nice, it covers well. Nothing to do but paint. A few moments later, wow, so much painting. Captain Batesa would be useful here. Captain Batesa.
I think someone is calling for Captain Batesa. Our Turku varnishing for you was pure pleasure.
Whoa, damn, you painted it so freaking well. Thank you, Captain Varnish. Will you paint more for me?
Give me 15 seconds.
My dear friends, the first layer has already dried. It already looks very nice. The manufacturer recommends at least 2 coats of paint. And now we sand the first layer with 240 grit sandpaper and paint it again. My dear friends, the second layer has already dried. And most importantly, I'm really happy because the pillows I ordered online have arrived. But okay, I tried them on and there's one thing that doesn't fit here. In my opinion, the backrests look too bulky. That's why I'm gonna get rid of the top part around it. And the places that were left unprotected, I'm painting with stain.
I stained it beautifully, and now you're ruining it.
But listen, most importantly, nothing goes to waste here. You saw I was cutting those pieces, but we'll use those pieces for boards. But when we break them apart, see a life hack.
Well, I'm scared. Go ahead. Damn.
But I did it before. It worked without any problem. Well,
Nice life hack, Archie.
but I did it before. It worked, right? Well, I did it and it blew up Nogorski. We saw it, right?
Listen, let these words be that life hack. Oh, damn. I got so scared.
It doesn't work like that.
What nails? Look, what?
Solid ones, you see?
Not naked, not fire. Just with a camera. Ribbits. Nails. Oh, bravo.
See, I told you it would go in like butter, except the first one didn't. Listen, the thing is, the spots from the nails could easily be filled with putty. But I actually like those little spots. It gives the vibe that it's really some kind of piece of furniture from demolition made like that on purpose, so I leave it, but if someone wants, they can easily fill it with putty, paint it, and it will look nice too. And listen, now it's time to make the armrests from those boards we took apart earlier. I would call it recycling. And listen, just so you know, Claimer gave me another job, even though I was about to finish. I didn't give you a job, I just suggested it. I was about to finish. I inspired you, but he inspired me. What else could I say? He's right. And it's going to be an armrest, but inside here, but an add-on. I'll explain it and then fast forward through it since it's not that interesting to watch. Well, just like Claimer dreamed it up and came up with it, that's how I did it. And actually, it's an interesting option that you can always take apart and, for example, hide back here. And now I'll tell you this, we're moving everything to the terrace, and that's where we'll put it all together. Carrying each part separately and assembling them is much easier than moving the whole piece together. My dear friends, I still have 4 pallets left. Well, I thought I wouldn't stop at just a few. Ruzhnik, I'll make, 2 more things. The first will be a table that will fit perfectly with those other pieces of furniture. Of course, I start by sanding. I look like I'm going to play darts, but I'm just heading to the plunge saw, and it's time to cut. I'm cutting out the middle. That's great. I love this. We need to remove this block. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I don't like this. Oh, look what came out. Oh, it turned out that the bottom part is coming off the structure, and now I won't bother trying to recover the boards because I don't have many left. So I decided I'll go to my shed, my storage. Yeah, listen, I think they were waiting for me. I think these will be okay. First, I'll take one, try it out, and we'll see if it will work. No way, I think it'll fit here. All right, that's cool. Okay, I'm assembling the casing now. It looks nice already. I can see it, even if you can't. With the eyes of my imagination. Yes, now I'll cut pieces of these boards so that there's, I don't know, about 1.5 centimeters of an overhang here. The episode is already on the channel in which we compete. Me with Krzysztof, the engineer, against Klemmer and Staba. Watch the episode. And there is one of the challenges where we hammer nails with a hammer. See who succeeded and who didn't. How did we do? Okay, I'm cutting the sides with a plunge saw, and of course I'm sanding the pallet thoroughly. All right, friends, I have a 4mm piece of plywood that will rest on another pallet. Any material works, since pebbles will fill it, and it won't matter if it's unattractive oriented strand board or another board. Everything is sanded and screwed together. I think it looks great, but we still need to stain it. 2 coats are recommended, and in my opinion, that's more than enough. But if you want a slightly darker color, you can easily apply a 3rd coat. I've already painted 2 pallets, so I'm applying it. The first one down at the bottom. All right, so listen, I'm joining them with screws. My friends, another gadget, an LED strip. If it's USB powered, we can connect it, for example, to a power bank. Believe me, it will shine for several good hours, and we don't have to connect the table to any power source with a cable. Yes, disco disco. Okay, let's move on. I'm screwing on the wheels. Listen, it goes on the bottom. The foil doesn't have to be high. We'll gently pour some water here because there will be plants that don't require too much, but it's good to have some, at least it won't be leaking down the sides. There are pebbles, but what else is missing? Plants. What do you think? I think it's awesome. As promised, 2 of the last 4 pallets are still available. This part, this part, this part, and this part won't be needed for our next project. We only need this beautiful middle part. I ended up trying one, despite my intentions. With the other grinder, I can't get inside or sand as nicely, and I care about these elements being made precisely and aesthetically. Unfortunately, I have to take these elements apart. But anyway, the most important thing is that now we'll be able to calmly sand something from the inside, and then of course we'll put everything back together just like it was before. And listen, there are still some imperfections here that this time I'd actually like to smooth out a bit. So I want to fill these gaps, cover them with putty. There's a pine color here, and these gaps are a bit bigger. I'm covering them. I'll mention it again. This is a Euro pallet, and nobody expects any kind of perfection from it, because if we wanted perfect shapes and looks, we'd make it out of beams that we'd have to buy at the store and spend quite a bit of money. The filler has dried, so what do I do now? Sand it down is probably the word used most in this episode. Sanding. And listen, in my opinion, the result really is impressive for a piece of a Euro pallet. And I thought to myself that I'll go a bit crazy and mill down those sharp edges. Brush in hand, a can of stain and varnish, and let's go. My dear friends, now we're getting to the final part. We'll be finishing these posts, but I'll do one way and the other a different way. Maybe one of these styles will appeal to you more and you'll decide to make it. That's how I start, so you can tighten it. because it's important here to make sure you tighten the rope properly. And I'm already smiling because I already know it's the end. And in a moment you'll see the whole set on the terrace, how beautifully it all looks. Now the lanterns are coming in here as well. And it looks nice, doesn't it? Now we're moving on to the second lantern. For the next method, I'll use these ready-made lamps. They're cool too. We'll put it on a battery. I don't know if Claimer has already tested them by any chance. But, oh, no! Why today? But I guess we'll have to think about mounting them after all. All right, I'll get back to that in a moment. And in the meantime, I'll take care of those little lamps. To start with, railway. We don't need to do this too tightly since we'll be back here soon. Top to bottom, but the glue still needs to set. Oh. The wind won't blow this away. I'll return to this lantern soon, so you'll already see the result. I'll use whatever I find here. You'll see.